Vanakkam. Welcome to this few minutes think series of Nucleus Consultants. And today's session is on ISO 9001 2015 Quality Management System, the basic QMS standard. Let's start with some basic. What is this ISO? ISO is not an international standard organization. It is International Organization for Standardization. If you pick the first three letter IOS, we need to call it as IOS, right? But we call it as ISO. Why? The word ISO is derived from the Greek language, isos. Isos in Greek language means equal. Do you heard about isotopes, isometric view? Yes, that's what this ISO is. What ISO does? ISO develops standards. They develop international standards. There were a lot of national standard bodies, industry standard bodies, right? Look at this example. In India, we have a Bureau of Indian Standard, right? They are our national standard body who develops IS standard. Based on this, we are getting this ISA mark, right? So this organization in India who develops standards for our country, IS standard. Based on this IS standard, there are ISA mark. If you look at around many product, what we are using in our home, those are all ISA certified products, which means those products are manufactured, tested as per the national standard, Indian standard, so that this product can be marketed, sold in our country. Similar way, each country having their own standard making body. In America, they have ANSI. In England, we have a British Standard Institute. Like there are some industry standard bodies are also available. For example, automotive aerospace industry, they have SAE, right? And electronics industry, they have IPC. And welding industry, they have AWS. Like every industry, they have their own standard making bodies. So when it's come to ISO develops international standard. So who are all member in ISO? So all these national standard bodies are part of ISO. Around 165 members countries across the globe are part of this ISO. So ISO standards are internationally agreed by the experts. And there are different type of standards, product standard, process standards, there are guidelines, there are test methods available, there are best practices, recommendations, right? There are plenty of standards available. Product standards, more we know about how the product should be, the functional requirement, dimensional requirement, chemical properties, mechanical properties, all those stuffs. Typically standards may be about how to make a product or how to manage a process, how to deliver a service, how to perform a test. So it on different topic, different range. ISO itself published more than 35,000 standard, starts from our time, then watches, then elevators, then road vehicles, right? So typically all these standards are made by the subject matter experts who knows about the product, process and services. They represent through the national standard bodies. So the standards are developed. Now coming to the management system standard, these are also called as process standard. This is not talks about any product. This is about the process. Quality management standard, right? We all well aware about quality management system standard. This topic ISO 9000 is also this quality management system. So the purpose of quality management system is to help the organizations work more efficiently and reduce the product failure so that you can achieve customer satisfaction. Similar way, environmental management system, the intent is to, it will help us to reduce the environmental impact and reduce waste so that we can be more sustainable. And the health and safety management system standard help us to reduce the accident in our workplaces, energy management, food safety management, IT security. So each management system standard having its a different intent. Now coming to our business quality management system. So the word quality, how do we define the word quality? Anything which fulfills your requirements, that's what the word quality is. When you say requirements, many people have limited the word requirement only with the product requirement when it's come to the word quality. But when it's come to quality management system, The word quality and the requirement is not just limited to product requirement, it goes beyond that. You have to fulfill your customer requirement, right? You have to fulfill your legal requirements, you have to fulfill your process requirement, and you have to fulfill your organizational own requirements. So there are plenty of requirements you have to fulfill. So the quality management is not just managing the product quality, it is managing the entire business. So that is what the quality management is. So when you want to implement a quality management system, we are not just focusing the quality control process or quality assurance process, which most of the organization have, right? But in addition to that, we have to consider quality planning and quality improvement. So how we are going to manage your processes? Do we have a methodology for quality planning, the quality assurance, quality control, and quality improvement? So this is what all about quality management system is. So this is what ISO 9001. So ISO 9000 talks about the requirements of quality management system. This standard is developed by a technical committee in ISO TC 176. They have developed ISO 9001. It is a process standard because ISO 9000 is very generic standard. It doesn't talks about any product or any specific industry. It's very generic standard applicable to different type of industries. You might have seen manufacturing industries are certified for ISO 9001, then hospitals, educational institutions, government offices, public offices, many sectors you might have seen certified for ISO 9001. So it's very generic standard. If a company is certified for ISO 9001 means they are conforming to applicable customer and obligatory requirements like statutory regulatory requirements. And the organization is aims to achieve customer satisfaction, and they have a process to continually improve it. So as an organization, they have to demonstrate their ability to fulfill all these factors. So that is what all about ISO 9001 is. And this standard is a process standard, right? So let's try to interpret the word process. What is process? Anything which converts input into value added output. That is what the process, right? We have a set of actions, interactions, interrelations, and there are some control methods and activities. So how we are going to manage everything? This is what we call it as process. In your organization, you have various processes like your marketing process, R&D process, then purchase process, production process, quality process, then logistics, warehouse, stores, maintenance, and you have support process like HR, training, IT, top management, human resource. Like so, an organization have different type of processes. So quality management system is more focused toward process approach. You have various process in your company, various department you them call them. So you need to ensure consistent and predictable results are achieved by these processes. So how to do that? There the QMS comes into picture. The entire quality management system consists of interrelated processes. So when you are implementing QMS, you need to understand clearly how the results are produced by our quality management system, which enables your organization and optimize your system and your own performance. So this is what all about process approach, which means ISO 9001 is going to help to achieve your business goal, to achieve your business objectives. And this is based on PDCA, plan, do, check, act. Any management system is based on this plan, do, check, act cycle. ISO 9000 also designed as per PDCA, but one small new change added in 2015, they have included PDCA along with, there is a concept called as risk-based thinking. The preventive action, right? We do that end of the corrective action process, but typically it should done at the initial stage. So while planning your quality management system, you need to apply risk-based thinking. Not just in planning, every stage you have to apply risk-based thinking. So this is what all about quality management system. So this is what written in ISO 9001 as a requirements. There are 10 clauses. Each clause clearly define how your QMS should be. Class 1 talks about scope of this quality management system standard, and class 2 talks about normative references, and class 3 talks about terms and definition. The first three classes are very generic, which help us to understand the standard, how to approach the standard and all. Whereas class 4 to 10 is what the exact requirement. So whatever written in 4 to 10, we have to plan, we have to do it, we have to check it, and we have to act accordingly. So class 4 talks about context of the organization. There we need to understand our business, what we want to do, what is our scope and boundary, what are the processes we have, how we are going to manage our processes. That is what addressed in class 4. Class 5 talks about leadership. There should be a commitment from our top management for establishing, implementing, maintaining this quality management system. And we need to have a quality policy. Then what are the people working in our business? What is their roles, the responsibilities and authorities? So those are all defined in class 5. And the class 6 more about planning of QMS. So when you plan your quality management system, we have to apply this risk-based thinking, and we have to define measurable quality objective. Then any changes happened, again, we need to plan the changes with respect to quality management system. And class 7 talks about support function. What are the support activities, support processes we need to run our quality management system? And class 8 is more on your operation. What is your core business? How you plan your operation? How you are going to control your business? That is what completely addressed in class 8. And class 9 talks about performance evaluation. So we have to monitor, measure, analyze, right? And evaluate the quality management system. Then finally, this is not a one-time activity. Whatever we so far we did, we have to improve it by taking corrective action, and we have to continually improve it. So these are all the requirements mentioned in the ISO 9001:2015 standard. So when you are practicing a quality management system, whatever written in ISO 9001:2015, that needs to be established. So when it's come to the certification process, okay, how a company go for ISO certificate? These are the predominant major stages, I could say, PDCA. So internally, you can form your core team. You have to train the team about what is QMS, right? What is the role in this, and establish the quality management system in accordance with ISO 9001. Then document the quality management system and get the commitment from your top management, like establishing policies, planning of QMS, provision of resources, right? Those are all the planning activity. Once you are done with planning, then move for implementation. So practice, implement. So what you have planned, do it, right? And keep evidences, right? That's very critical part here. Then we have to check it at planned intervals. We have to conduct audits. We have to measure customer perception, right? And we have to conduct management review. And what are our business plan? What are our KPI? What we have achieved? We have to monitor, measure, analyze, and evaluate. Then finally, take action, corrective action, and continually improve. Once we finish this PDCA cycle, then you engage a certification body for the third-party certificate. Once a certification body certifies your organization, the certificate is valid for 3 years, subject to annual surveillance audit. Typically, a certification body will come twice on the initial certification. There will be a stage 1 audit to review the adequacy, and the stage 2 audit will be their full compliance audit. So based on the outcome of stage 2 audit, a company can get a third-party certificate. So then your quality management system journey has begins. So this is what I would like to sum up in this few minutes thing series. If you have any more questions, doubts, or if you're looking for ISO 9001 related training activities or consulting activities, so you can always reach us. So we are from Nucleus Consultants. We are a management system consulting, training, auditing organization. Thanks.